Hey, everybody. This is the CARA, Ingrid,
Ingrid.
and Steve
No, it's
podcast.
Ingrid, Mommy, Steve podcast.
I don't think. We are doing the top 10
Favorite
best
Santas.
representations of Santa. That's the top 10 best Santas in film, cartoons, movies, TV series,
TV specials.
TV specials, whatever tickles your fancy. So we're going to start with number 10 being our least favorite all the way down to number 1. These are the top 10, so they're all pretty good. I mean, if they made it in the top 10. But here we go. My number 10, best Santa in film. I'm going with Christmas with the Cranks. Now, this guy, you don't really know he's Santa till the end of the movie. And the end of the movie, spoilers, is he helps them get their Christmas spirit back, and then he drives off in a Volkswagen with reindeer pulling him through the sky.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you know it's Santa. His name in it is Marty. The actor is Austin Pendleton, and he was just a good. There's only one scene where he has like his little Santa get up on,
Mm-hmm.
but he's just like a good kindred spirit. Like he's just joyful. He's like singing songs. He's like dancing with the guys.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought that was a good representation of Santa Claus.
Yeah, that's true. Because he really had like a community spirit. He knew everybody in that area. He knew all this information about him. He was always asking about people and their families. So he was just a good guy. When we were watching that movie, I hadn't seen it in a really long time. I only saw it once when it first came out. But when we were watching it last week, I thought he was like a Christmas angel throughout the movie. And then at the end, when it shows him as like actually taking off with the reindeer, then I realized it was Santa. But before that, I thought just kind of he was like a special angel kind of helping everybody around town.
All right, Kara, let's go ahead and just start with your number 10.
My number 10 is from the movie Elf, Ed Asner as Santa Claus. I don't know. I just think he's a really sweet Santa. He's always kind of gruff and grumpy a little bit, but he still really cares about everybody around him. Obviously,
Like
he made the
actual
choice to
Santa.
keep Buddy as a baby. I don't know. I just think he's a kind of a lovable character, like a very fatherly, like a grumpy dad kind of Santa. And I like that.
Just to let you guys know, Ed Asner in The Elf did not even make my top 10 because I do not like this rendition of Santa Claus. He was very. I feel like there wasn't a lot of joy in it, and I just didn't like it. I get it for the storyline, but in overall, no.
Not your favorite. Well, you're a traditionalist when it comes to Santas, I think.
We'll see. Ingrid, you're number 10.
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Ooh,
Santa
that's
Jack,
a good
right?
one.
Santa Jack.
Yeah, I like Santa Jack. He's good because he's like trying his hardest to have a good
Yeah.
Christmas, even though he's from Halloween Town.
But he still wants to try out a new holiday.
That's right. So that song is "What's This?"
What's this in
The
the
air.
I do not even know the words.
All right, my number 9, 10 best Santa is Santa Claus is Coming to Town, 1970,
Coming to town.
voiced by Mickey Rooney. Mickey Rooney. Yeah, this is a Rankin and Bass production, stop motion. It came out December 13th, 1970, and it's the story of Santa Claus, which there's only a couple movies that really get into the story of him, like the history of him. I think this one does a pretty good.
Why?
What do you mean, why? It's because it's good. It has.
She doesn't even know what movie you're talking about.
It tells you how he gets his red coat and his hat, and he became a toy maker, and it's a good one. It's a classic for a reason. I love it.
Now, just like you did a disclaimer on the one before, I will say that one did not even make my list. I mean, it's a good movie, but I feel like when we're talking about representations of Santa Claus, we need, like, I want to see the fully realized Santa Claus. Like, yeah, the history is great, but
It shows him fully realized at the end
I know.
with the white beard.
No, yeah, you're right. Most of the movie, he's not in that form, though.
No,
Like, it's just how to, it's like the background, you know.
and there's a really horrible song in the middle of it. That
Yeah, there is.
it's from 1970, so it's a very 70s vibe, and it does not gel well with the Christmas. All right, number 9.
Tara.
My number 9 is from Frosty the Snowman, the little cartoon special.
Oh, the animated
Mhm.
the animated one. Also Rankin and Bass.
Mm-hmm.
Rankin and Bass, everybody.
Yeah, we're getting the Rankin and Bass out of the way pretty early on in our list.
Yeah, no, I like that one too. He's not in it a ton,
Mm-hmm.
but when he is in it, it definitely is like Christmassy Santa magic that he does, and
Mm-hmm.
he's a big part of that story. He's the one that brings Frosty back to life.
He brings Frosty back to life, but I think my favorite scene is when they save the little girl. She's freezing on that train to the North Pole, and he comes out to help
Oh
her
yeah,
when Frosty's taking the little girl back to the North Pole, and he says,
it's a
"I
good
know who
one.
can help. Santa can help." So he's kind of like a hero in this movie. So that stood out to me.
Ingrid's number 9 Christmas movie is going to be
Polar Express.
Polar Express.
Mhm.
That's
Tom
I just
Hanks
saw
as
that.
Santa Claus, and basically every other adult in the
Tom
movie
Hanks
and kid.
plays the conductor.
Oh, he's so many
He
characters
plays
in that
the
movie.
bum on the train. He plays Santa
bum.
Claus. And I think there's one more. Oh, he plays
He
one
plays
of
the kid. He's the main character.
what?
Yeah, he does the kid's voice too.
And Santa Claus.
And Santa. And that Santa Claus, why do you like that Santa Claus, Ingrid?
I don't know.
Just because it's like classic, like Santa Claus. You
I was
know,
just plastic.
Because he's wearing the traditional suit and he's got the long white kind of curly beard.
Or like actual Santa Claus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You like that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
all right. My number 8 is going to have to be Dashing Through the Snow with Little Rail Howery.
You mean Lil Rel Howery. The name
Whatever,
is spelled
man.
L-I-L.
I see T's when I look at that name. I see 2 T's.
You need to have your eyes checked.
Dashing Through the Snow.
No.
This movie is good because it's a whole different take on the Christmas tradition. Really, it's very modern, which I like. And Little Rail Howery is funny. I like that guy. He's good.
I agree. It's on my list too.
This is a Disney Plus show, and it was directed by Tim Story, who also did these hits: Ride Along 2,
Hmm.
Fantastic Four, Fantastic Four 2,
Which Fantastic Four?
and Shaft.
The one with Jessica Alba.
It's a family movie. It's on Disney Plus. Check it out. Kara, you're number 8.
My number 8 is from Arthur Christmas. The actor is Jim Broadbent, who voices Santa Claus. I like that Santa because he's a dad first. He's a father, and he's really trying to not play favorites with his son, but in the end, he kind of learns how to parent them in a way where he brings out the best in both his kids and then like encourages them to work together. And that's how they kind of like carry on the Christmas tradition. So I like that one. He's very like nurturing and sweet, and a little bumbling, but that's Jim Broadbent. That's the actor. That's what he brings to the role.
Ingrid, you're number 7. Staying alive. All right, let's get this number 7. Let's get it.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer
had a very shiny nose.
All
And
right.
if you ever saw
They're
it,
still
You'll have to
going.
edit this out. You could even say it close.
Like this podcast.
Nice. Nice
All right.
segue, hon.
Yeah, I
So,
really like it.
You like that one? Is it because it's like
I
stop?
just like Rudolph.
You just like Rudolph, huh? Like
Yeah.
he just makes you happy.
And
Cool.
also he got made fun of, and that's not very nice.
No. And then at the very end, Santa Claus comes back and says sorry. He was wrong. And
Yeah, that's why this Santa didn't make my list because he wasn't very nice to Rudolph for most of the movie.
Yeah, but he sees the error of his ways.
Yeah. Okay, fine.
Whatever.
He's human. That's fine. But he's not human. Isn't he supposed to be like better than human?
No, he's not Jesus.
No.
Number 7.
That brings up another very interesting point.
He's a weirdo.
All right,
The
I'm
history
gonna.
of Santa Claus.
Awesome!
Yeah, it was awesome. Thank you. That was a member of our audience. Number 7 for me, and one of the best representations of Santa Claus there is Ernest Saves Christmas, 1988.
Mhm.
It's by actor Douglas Seal.
Arr, 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 arr.
No, this guy is he has a very classic Christmas. He's like joyful and forgives people and wants the best for him and tries his hardest to remember all these people. And I feel like one of the best things of all the Santa Clauses is that they have this moment where they like meet an adult who's kind of like grumpy or rude. And then he kind of reminds them like what they had when they as a kid. But I like this. This Santa Claus is good.
Well, yeah, there's the scene at the airport in the beginning, right when Santa arrives in Florida, and
Yes, there
he
is.
says to that security guard that's looking at his identification, and
Yes.
he was like, "It was nice to see you too, Skippy." Like he tells him
Skippy,
his
that's
childhood
right,
nickname,
that's
right?
right.
And so he's like, then the guy like immediately like perks up and kind of wondering if that's a little bit magical, that Santa Claus looking fella knew his name as a kid.
And I don't know if you knew this, but the director, his name is John Robert Cherry III, and he actually directed that movie, and he's directed all of the Ernest movies and also created Ernest.
That's his life's legacy. I love it.
Ernest P. Worrell is not a character made by Jim Varney. He was made famous by Jim Varney,
Really?
but the character actually was created by John Robert Cherry. So there you go.
I did not know that. I always thought it was a Jim Varney thing.
Number 7, Kara.
My number 7
Come
Santa
on.
Claus is Prep and Landing,
Ooh, Prep and Landing.
because I love Prep and Landing. So it's the Santa Claus that's in all 3 or 4 of those specials. And Prep and Landing is only like 25 minutes long, the first installment.
Mm-hmm.
But and Santa Claus barely shows up in it.
Yes.
He kind of is at the end. And what I like about him is that it's very similar to the Santa Claus from Arthur Christmas in the sense that he really knows everyone's strengths, even if they don't know it themselves. Like he knows everyone's best job to be in, even if they're not sure where they should be. And so he's really like good at bringing out the best in everybody on his team. So I like that Santa.
I like
he kind of
that.
knows. He's got that little twinkle in his eye. If you could see his eye, I don't think you ever see his face in those in
I
that
don't
series.
think so.
But he still has a great deep voice and he's very authoritative, very knowing
Yeah.
and caring.
Those are good. Those are real good. Ingrid, you're number 7.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow.
Yeah, I skipped her number 8 then.
What's her number 8?
Her number 8 was the Santa that's in Merry Madagascar.
Oh, that's right. With the Julian. Hey, Julian. I am the number 1 Santa.
No, he bonks his head. He doesn't know who he is for most of the show,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. That's
But then he figures out that he's good at like making stuff and making toys, and he kind of like comes back
and
slowly
the
remembers.
penguins have a short, like a little 15-minute short,
Mm-hmm.
and I just love that too. Non-Santa related, but still good.
The penguins
All right.
are always funny.
My number 6.
Oh, break through the door.
Number 6 for me is Fred Claus. And listen, you could say what you want about the movie itself,
Can you hear my eyes rolling?
but Paul Giamatti's Santa Claus has so much emotion because he's such a good actor.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
feel like a lot of the Santa Clauses on here they're all good actors. Paul Giamatti has done crazy.
Mhm.
He does a lot of different characters.
Well, he's been nominated for Oscars. Like
Yeah,
he's a
Yeah.
A-list.
So he's got
actor.
a lot of character and emotion, and the scenes with him and Vince Vaughn as the brother, and he apologizes for killing his bird and all that. It's, I don't know. There's something about it. I get warm and fuzzies from him.
He's a good Santa Claus. He is. He's a very real Santa Claus because he's struggling with the stress of the
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Spacey's
Oh, yeah.
character, and he's struggling trying to bring everybody back
Everybody
together for the
together.
holidays. His parents,
Mhm.
his brother, everybody. So it's a very human representation of
Oh, yeah.
Santa Claus for sure.
And just one little tidbit, that was directed by David Dobkin, who also did one of my favorite movies, Wedding Crashers. Also with
Another
Vince Vaughn.
gem. I love Vince Vaughn. Can you tell?
What do you mean? What do you? I can't. I
Oh my
can't.
God. You
Sorry,
can't. You
I
can't. Don't do it. Don't do it. Because then I won't look at you the same. And
What do you mean? What do you mean?
I love you,
What do you
but
mean?
I
What do you
can't. I
mean?
can't deal with Vince Vaughn.
All right, let's do your number 6 then.
Okay. So my number 6 is actually Tim Allen in the Santa Claus movies.
Number 6.
Number 6, baby.
Oh, baby.
Yeah.
Lost points.
Sorry, I have too many contenders in the top 5. I have a very special place in my heart for a lot of these movies, especially when we get into the top 5. They're basically interchangeable at that point, and I think I say that every time.
You do.
I do, but it's true.
And it is true.
I have my favorites, and they're all my favorites for different reasons.
So
you can go in any order.
every
really.
podcast, you're gonna hear me and Kara both say, "Well, the top 3 are all really the top 3."
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I like Tim Allen in the Santa Claus movies. I think my favorite one is the second one where he woos the future Mrs. Claus. I think that one's really sweet. That's also a really kind of down-to-earth human representation of Santa because he's just a guy adjusting to the role.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
So, but then he realizes he was born for that role, I like Tim Allen as Santa. What can I say?
There's not much you could say.
No.
Ingrid, your number.
7.
Her
or
number
6.
6.
Prepper Landing.
Yeah.
You like that one, huh?
Why do you like that one?
I don't know.
You don't know. You just like him.
Yeah.
He's a nice Santa.
And also, he doesn't show his head.
He doesn't show his head, but he shares life lessons with the elves.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And he
What?
cares a lot about making sure all kids get a gift, right? He cares about kids a lot.
All right.
Next one.
That's going to take us to number 5, which means everybody, it's time for intermission. We're back. Thank you, Snickers, for the ad.
Why is it Snickers? Thank you, Reese's, for sponsoring this podcast.
No, they already sponsored the last one. They don't know it yet. We're at number 5, halfway through. My number 5, Best Santa. And this is a big one. People love him. Some people hate him. But everybody knows him. And that is 1964, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Really?
Voiced by Stan Francis. Listen, we already talked about it a little bit. At the end, he recognizes that he treated Rudolph wrong.
He's only nice to him when he needs something from him.
How dare you? This isn't from 1964. This is how it was back then.
Well, when we know better, we do better. So I don't like that Santa.
I mean, this is a big deal. Whether you could say what you want about the character, or even if you like the Santa, but Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is one of the most popular Christmas
I love it.
shows out there.
I love it, but I don't like Santa Claus very much in it.
Hey, you leave Santa Claus alone.
The show is about Rudolph, okay? I like Rudolph.
Big hit.
At the very end of the 55-minute special, I didn't know this when I looked it up. There's the ending part with the credits. It shows Santa Claus coming back to the island of misfit toys and picking them up and then dropping them off at people's house.
Yeah.
And then Santa Claus flies away. That was added after it was released, and people were complaining like,
What happened?
what about the
them?
island? What about they just left the toys on the
Aw.
island? So Rankin and Bass was like, yeah, you're right. So they went and made a little 1-2 minute ending and put it on the end of it, like on the.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know it was added at the end.
That was cool. That was a good touch, by the way. Thank you, Rankin and Bass. Number 5, Kara.
All right, so my number 5, Stephen, you already had him on your list, but I know he's a brand new Santa. His movie is going to be one of those movies now that we watch every year. I think it's an amazing representation of Santa Claus, and it deserves to be in my top 5. It is Laurel Howery in Dashing Through the Snow.
Thank you, audience.
You touched on it a little bit, and it talked about, he kind of goes into the backstory a little bit, and he talks about like different world cultures and Santa Claus's role in those cultures. And I just think it's a really cool modern way to represent such a traditional figure, but the way that they've represented him, it still includes all of his traditions and all of the cultures that he's been included in over the years, over the centuries, really. So, and plus it's super funny.
It's super funny.
It's
Let's not
super funny,
let's
and
not
it's like an
forget-
action movie, and it's
Let's not forget Chris Bridges, Ludacris, is
Oh,
also
yeah.
good in it.
excellent. Yeah, he plays like the skeptical dad
Skeptical
that gets
dad, yeah.
teamed up with Santa
Yeah,
Claus.
he's good.
Yeah, no, the whole movie, I can't recommend it enough. It's so good on so many levels, and I love him as Santa Claus. It was like refreshing. It was new and cool, and but still traditional in a lot of ways. So that's my number 5.
Yes, it is. Ingrid, please tell me your number 5 favorite Santa?
Arthur Christmas. Arthur
Whoa.
Christmas.
Arthur Christmas.
You like the Santa from
I
Arthur
said
Christmas?
Arthur Christmas.
Blarfer Christmas.
And by the way, his name is Malcolm.
That's Santa Claus's name in.
The Santa Claus is the title
Yeah.
of what they are.
But you know how in that movie they show that it's different people over the years.
Remember the old
Santa?
guy,
Yeah.
no teeth. He was the
He was the
Santa.
old Santa, and then his son was Malcolm, the current Santa, and then Malcolm was getting his sons.
By Steve.
Is Steve one of them?
Yeah.
Steve's the one next one in
Oldest.
charge.
The military one?
Yeah.
And then,
And then Arthur.
Yeah, so there's lots of Santas in that movie, but the current Santa is the dad, Malcolm.
All right, we're rolling here. Rolling on to number 4. This is The Miracle on 34th Street, but
Which
the
one?
remake, the 94 version.
Why the remake?
'Cause I like it better. All right.
Why? Because that's the one
Richard-
that came out when we were kids.
Yeah, Richard Attenborough, Elizabeth Perkins, Dylan McDermott, J.T. Walt, and even James Remar from Dexter's in
And
it.
Mara Wilson, hello, is the main little girl in the movie.
Yeah. No, I
Matilda.
understand that a lot of people like the original, and I mean he's just playing the character from the original. I mean he's not anything new, but I don't know. It's a little more modern. I like it. The color's good on it.
The color. I'm going to challenge you to watch the original and then that one. In the same afternoon, I want you to watch both of those movies, and you're going to be like, wow, I feel like I just watched the same movie twice, but one in color and one's in black and white.
Yeah, that's why I like the.
That's the only reason.
All right, you're number
This
4.
man hates black and white movies, everybody.
You're
Yeah, he really does.
coming from somebody who has a black and white Frankenstein tattoo. All right, number 4, Kara.
All right, so my number 4.
Is pizza.
No, stop, girl. My number 4 is from Santa Claus the movie. And what did you say the guy's name was? David Huddleston
David
plays.
Huddleston.
Probably visually the most accurate Santa Claus in film.
I
Simply
will back that.
because, I mean, his Mrs. Claus is so just natural and beautiful, and they just make a beautiful couple, and he's just a sweet older guy that loves making toys for kids in their village. And I have no notes. Like, it's the perfect Santa Claus. I can't say enough about how like visually perfect he is, and then his personality, it suits it so much. So
Yeah, he's
that's
very,
my number 4.
He's very joyful.
Mm-hmm.
Ingrid, you're number 4.
Ingrid's number 4.
It better be good. It better be real.
Elf on a Shelf story.
You mean Elf on the Shelf, the elf story? The history of the elves on the shelves?
That's just what I said.
Okay, where's Bella? Hey, Bella, you're up there.
Oh, she's up there doing the podcast with us. That's our elf on the shelf in our home. Her name's Bella. Do you like having an elf in our home?
Okay. Did you like that movie, though?
Yes. Why do you like that Santa?
Somebody needs to give this kid some sugar.
She had sugar. Maybe that's the problem.
Crashing, have a sugar crash on,
Yeah, she might
on
be
live
crashing.
television.
Yeah. So that's Ingrid's number 4 was Elf on the
Elf on the
Shelf, the
Shelf.
elf story, and she likes the Santa from that movie.
All right, my number 3
Oh.
is The Santa Claus, Disney, 1994 with Tim Allen. I think the first one is the best, heart-wise and Christmassy-wise. Second one has a good story, and the third one's kind of silly with Martin Short, but he's a good Santa Claus, especially when he's actually in his suit and he's gained the weight and he's got the white beard. Yeah.
Yeah, we love those movies. All 3 of them are good. But yeah, the third one is a little silly. But it's Martin Short. Come on.
It's
now.
Martin
I
Short.
love Martin Short.
Martin Short.
That's number
Kara's
3. So my
number.
number 3, it's going to be the most controversial on this list because it's not on anyone's list that we saw when we were
Saw
looking
this
up this
coming.
topic. You know it's coming. It is from my favorite Christmas movie, and I put it at number 3 because I know that this is not a very popular opinion, and it's from the movie One Magic Christmas. Wow, you should have put crickets there, babe. Crickets
I don't
instead
have
of crows.
crickets.
I know you don't have crickets.
All right.
So One Magic Christmas, let's see who's starring in it. Mary Steenburgen is probably the most famous name in that movie. Harry Dean Stanton plays Christmas Angel Gideon. And the Santa Claus in that movie, it's like a classic, almost like a Victorian Santa Claus. It shows his relationship briefly with his wife and how she just kind of stays home and takes care of him. And and he's got his, big duties on Christmas Eve. And it's just, I mean, it's almost like if there was a classical painting of a Santa Claus, this man would be it physically.
But is the story cheerful and joyful, or is it not?
Cheerful and joyful was not a criteria for this list. This list is about the best representation of Santa Claus in a movie or a cartoon or a special. And this Santa Claus in One Magic Christmas is flawless. Flawless. And they don't, like I was telling you earlier that you loved this story, is that they don't have elves in this movie. They basically have angels. They have people that have lived on Earth and now they're moved on.
That's a good touch.
And they, they're in the North Pole mailroom and in the toy factory, and it's people. And like when they're touring, the little girl's there with Santa Claus and they're touring the factory. She sees a man that used to be a janitor at her elementary school. She was like, hey, I recognize that guy. But it's just really sweet, and he's a sweet Santa. He's just an old kind of fatherly guy. And I love it. I love that movie. It's my favorite Christmas movie, even though everyone says it's depressing.
I can't wait to watch it.
Oh, you're going to watch it,
This
babe.
is kind of like your Lady in White pick for the Halloween movies.
Yes, because that also is an awesome movie from the 80s that nobody talks about enough.
Ingrid! Ingrid, you're
Ingrid's
number
number 3 is...
Drum roll, please.
Christmas Chronicles.
All right,
mean-
another newer movie.
You mean with Kurt Russell?
What?
Kurt Russell is the
Yes.
actor that plays Santa Claus in those 2 movies, and
Yes.
he is excellent.
Yes,
Yes, yes, yes. Do you remember why you like him? Do you like his songs that he sings?
yes, and I also like a little elves.
Oh, she loves the elves.
you like those little
The elves in those
elves.
movies are very cute.
They're
yeah,
cute.
they're like little furry critters, kind of.
And you like, like they
Yes.
almost look like a minions.
Yeah,
Yes.
They
have
do,
so
huh?
many of
Yeah.
they have a
them.
whole elvish language that they speak. That's pretty
Yeah.
neat.
I learned it.
Wait, what?
Let's hear it.
Huh?
All right, go
Number
number
two.
3.
Glock, click, glock, glock,
That's our
glock,
number 3.
glock,
That's
glock,
my number
click,
3, and
glock.
you already did yours. So we're down to number 2.
My number 2
Mm-hmm.
is
Yeah.
Santa Claus the movie, 1985.
Dudley
But-
Moore was awesome in that movie
Dudley
too, by
Moore
the
is
way.
good. David Huddleston plays Santa. You are
Mhm.
already kind of touched on it, but I am going to say the first hour of the movie is like golden. Last hour of the movie, not so golden.
Well, you don't like John Lithgow as the villain?
No.
I love to watch him floating when he eats the candy.
Look. There's not many movies that deserve or need a remake. I feel like this one should get a remake.
Oh, babe, they would ruin it. It would be
No,
ruined.
no, not if somebody
No,
like
it won't have the
me.
same vibe. Well, yeah, you're gonna do it.
You hear that?
Are you a
Whoever-
filmmaker?
The one person listening to our podcast, do you hear
Yeah.
this?
Yeah, he's interested in working in film
Remaking
production.
Santa Claus
There you go.
the
The Santa
movie.
Claus the movie
But
is going to be his first project.
Listen. I would cut the whole modern part of it out. I would make.
You just want the background.
I just want the first hour, which is that you meet Santa Claus back in the old days. He finds the elves. It's a little training session of him how he becomes Santa.
Yeah, but where's the conflict in the movie?
Well, you'd have to create something, but the whole look going into the modern thing, and then
Yeah.
the elf joins the CEO, and he makes these magic. It's
Magic lollipops.
listen.
Listen.
It would have done a lot. It would have done a lot better if they just would have kept it simple. But he is one of the. When I think of Santa Claus, like life-wise, he's one of the top ones. I mean, he looks like Santa Claus. He was.
Yeah, no, visually he's perfect.
I'm sure he's good in other roles because he's an actor, but I'm pretty sure this is probably his biggest.
Yeah,
His
it is.
biggest role.
I read something about that a couple years ago. That's pretty much all he did, I think. I think that life wasn't for him. I think.
All right, Kara's number 2.
My number 2 already appeared on Ingrid's list. Christmas Chronicles, baby. I love, 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 love Kurt Russell as Santa Claus. He is just, I can't, chef's kiss. So good. He's so charismatic. He's like an action hero version of Santa Claus, because he's in shape. He's got the awesome like leather coat with the fur on it. Like visually, he just looks super cool.
It's Christmas time, pretty
Oh yeah, and the musical numbers, fantastic. And like, I'm not gonna lie, I just like Kurt Russell. Like, I like him pretty much in anything he's ever been in.
Oh,
And as Santa Claus.
He's He's one of America's treasures.
He's
for
like America's
sure.
sweetheart guy. Yeah, no, I love him in this movie. That's my number 2. That's super high on the list. I feel like it's a new modern classic. We definitely watch it every year. We watch both of them. Yeah, he's now officially a Santa Claus institution, whether he likes it or not.
Yeah, I think I read something where Goldie Hawn was really happy with his looks and
Oh yeah.
his version of Santa
Oh, I
Claus.
can imagine. I'm excited too.
Yeah, baby.
You know, babe, I asked you just this week. I said, when you get older, are you going to let your beard get all long and crazy? I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm ready for it.
I already got the extra weight, so I'm halfway there.
Nice.
All right, Ingrid, number 2.
Ah, this is a new appearance on our list.
Mickey Saves Christmas.
Mickey Mouse, baby.
Saves Christmas
Mm-hmm.
on Disney Plus, and it's stop motion.
Mm-hmm.
So they're kind of taking the old vibes of those old Rudolphs and Santa Claus
all
coming
the
to
Rankin and
town,
Bass stuff.
and they did the same thing, put a little Disney magic on it.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
That's
so
a
we're
good
moving.
number 2. Now we're down to number 1. Now we really need drum rolls.
Drum roll,
No.
please.
Don't do it. You're literally a drum player.
Here
You're
we
literally
go.
a drummer, Steven. Go.
My number 1 is it's Mr. Kurt Russell, The
That's your
Christmas
number
Chronicles.
Wow.
And let me tell you why.
Yeah.
My number 2 was the Santa Claus the movie, David Huddleston.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be your number 1.
He's like the classic embodiment of Santa Claus. But listen, he's nowhere as cool as Kurt Russell as Santa Claus.
Definitely.
I don't think anybody on this list is going to be as cool as Kurt Russell as Santa
No way.
Claus.
Not even close.
Because not only does he sing the cool songs and he's got a cool look to him, but he has a lot of character. Like, he has a lot of emotion. Like, he wants the best for these kids. And like I said in the beginning of this podcast, he does the little thing with the nose, that's old school Santa's with the nose. He does that little flick.
The flick of the nose. Oh, like from the poem, right?
Yeah, yep.
And it-
I don't think anybody's going to be as good as Santa Claus as Kurt Russell.
Oh, babe, I'm
There you go.
impressed. I didn't know that was going to be your number 1. I mean, I knew it was going to be up there, but I thought I was being controversial by putting him at number 2.
All right.
That's your number 1? All right, you ready for my number 1?
Yes.
So,
CARA.
so my number 1 is actually Edmund Gwynn as Santa Claus in the original Miracle on 34th Street. I did not put the remake on my list, and I also did not include the Santa Claus from Ernest Saves Christmas on my list because those two are an exact copy of Edmund Gwynn's performance.
I can see that.
Like, I mean, physically they look the same. The wardrobe is similar with the suits and the waistcoat and the little pocket watch and like all that is exactly the same. So Edmund Gwenn kind of originated that look and that style, and he's very proper. He speaks in a way that's like very kind of
Yes.
educated and almost like he is an expert on everything, right? Like he knows about literature. He knows about every kid he comes into contact with. He can speak whatever language they speak, cares
It's
about all the people that he works with at Macy's, and he's a helper.
The Red Star?
Yeah,
The
that
Red Star
movie is
Macy's?
about. That's how he comes into the film. Is that it's Thanksgiving. It's the Macy's Day
So
Parade.
Macy's owns that movie?
I'm sure they have stock in it for sure.
Yeah.
But it's the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, and he comes across the Santa that was hired to be in the parade, and he's completely drunk. So he's like
Yes.
horrified, and he's like, "This is terrible. You can't make me look
Oh,
bad."
that's right.
So he takes the drunk guy out, and he jumps on the float, and that's
Mhm.
how he gets the
That's
job
how
at
he gets the
Macy's.
job.
Yeah.
Okay,
Quintessential.
Can
he's
we
perfect.
agree? Can we at least agree that the remake and the original are both very good in Christmas spirit?
Well,
Wow,
like I said,
America,
the remake is fine.
Europe,
It's
if you're
fine.
listening.
The remake is fine, but they didn't do anything different with the story or the characters. It is literally a carbon copy of that first movie. So that's why it's not on the list, because it's not original. It doesn't do anything original with the idea of Santa Claus. It doesn't bring anything new to the table. So that's why I stuck with the OG one. What are you doing?
I don't. What?
Okay, fine. I'm done. That's my number 1. Bye.
Ingrid.
Ingrid's number 1.
Your number 1 Santa movie is
Is that a question, or is that your favorite one?
Santa Claus, the Santa Claus with Yeah, you did. Remember, he has like all the fake Santa. He makes the fake Santas, and they're like
Mhm.
robots.
She don't even remember what she said an hour ago.
You like the Santa Claus of the movie, though. Oh, your
You
your
met-
favorite is Christmas Chronicles. Oh, so
That's
we'll
the
just
one,
switch them.
where he sings. Why did you
Yes.
change my audio so now I sound like I'm in a long hallway?
There we go.
There you go.
Sorry, everybody. All right. Well,
That was everybody's. Is my voice not female enough for you?
No, it's not.
Wow.
So, guys, this was the top 10 best Santas in film.
This is a very
Anticlimactic ending.
So I really like what we did here, guys. It's nice.
It's petering out at this point.
Wait, what? How
It's
are
time
we
to go
doing
eat.
this? All right, everybody.
Hey.
Alright, guys, I want to wish you a very Merry Christmas. You guys have a Happy New Year, and we'll reconvene after the holidays.
all right, guys. Thank you for listening. Thank you
Okay.
for joining in.
Thank you.
All right, Ingrid, do you have any Christmas wishes to say?
I wish you good. I wish you have a good New Year and a good holiday.
All right.
You caught me off guard. I didn't
Merry
think you were gonna ask me that.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.